I'm Stephanie Nash. And well, first I just want to thank you for taking a few minutes to watch this video. And then I would like to invite you to consider the new normal that I'm about to describe. I have developed a program that I think is unique, and it is designed to help us rewire habit patterns around food and eating, which, by the way, is one of the hardest things to do because we all have a very complex relationship to food. I mean, from the moment mother's milk goes in the mouth, food is love. And then it becomes a social connection as we break bread with friends and family. And then at some point, most people end up eating while watching TV, so then it becomes totally unconscious. I just saw a commercial where one of the characters said they were going to go do some emotional eating. I mean, that is how common and accepted it is for us to now use food to not feel our emotions. Whoa! What a range of uses of eating, none of which are designed to help us tune into the present moment of what we're actually doing, much less the food. Yeah. Well, the new normal that I'd like to describe is the rewiring that happens when we change our relationship to food, meaning how we experience it and how we think and feel about it, which is where most mindful eating programs go. And mindfulness is definitely a major component to what I offer. But I have found that to truly have a transformational change that lasts, we need to go further. And it is also so important to change our relationship to our body, to how we experience it and how we think and feel about it. And we need to change our relationship to our thoughts, including that judging mind and the style of thinking that floods each moment, as well as changing our relationship to our emotions and how we react emotionally to the occurrences in our life, including to how we're eating. It's by changing all of these relationships that we start to rewire and develop new desires and habits that lead to this new normal. And just to give a little feel-good motivation, I just want to mention some of the practical benefits of this rewiring process since, let's face it, we all have goals. The first thing that is almost always reported, and sometimes after the very first session, is a greatly enhanced enjoyment and appreciation of whatever food you're eating, as well as a feeling of satisfaction after eating, and often from eating half as much as you're used to eating, which can throw some people off until I encourage them to save the extra for later. It's less cooking, right? And the second thing that is usually noted, since self-judgment is a condition we all suffer from to some extent, is not just how there is less negative self-judgment, but how suddenly people start to see an option of a positive way to go with the thought. And I'll get into the how of this in the program, but that is an important event, and I do have some unique ways of addressing that. Then there are some other benefits that do get reported a lot. One is an ability to poke fun and be lighter about things. I'm big on that. Another is an ability to put less food on your plate. And many start reporting that they naturally are craving healthier foods and have fewer cravings for the what I call trigger foods, the ones that lead us astray. And an ability to treat oneself more kindly and with compassion is a beautiful report I hear a lot. And something that I actively cultivate is changing the relationship to feeling and moving the body. And this will often cause people to want to, in their lives, move more and even get outside and get more exercise. And the last benefit I'm going to mention is the goal that usually brings most people to these workshops in the first place. So, do people lose weight? Yeah, sure. But I do want to say that it tends to come as the rewiring really starts to take hold. And it comes, I believe, from a combination of, eating less food, and yeah, eating healthier food, and yeah, moving the body more, and also being happier emotionally makes people less prone to drinking or emotional eating. Also being able to listen to the body. Am I full? Am I hungry? Am I tired? How does that affect my appetite? And by that point, for many people, it's less about how many pounds they lose and more about feeling good and looking good, which works for me. So anyway, those are some of the most reported benefits from this rewiring process that I am presenting. And yes, I am using the word rewire because yes, when you develop new habits, new neural pathways start to form in the brain. When I designed and taught a mindfulness program for a Harvard Medical School brain study, I got to hang out with a PhD researcher and ask him a lot of questions. And one day I said, when I'm trying to change habits or help my clients change habits, I think of it like taking a less paved path through the woods that soon becomes paved because we take it a lot. And the old 4-lane highway that we kept getting stuck on before kind of grows over. And he said, that is exactly what happens in the brain. And that, by the way, is called neuroplasticity. You've probably heard of it. But my point is, when the brain changes, that affects how we automatically see the world, how we think about it, how we react, how we feel about food and our body, how we feel in our body. And yes, that becomes the new normal. And this is simply a visual to give you an idea of the complex interplay between our body, our judging mind, our emotions, and our relationship with food. Each affects and is affected by each other. And by playing with different strategies of where and when and how we bring our attention to any of these components or to the ways in which they affect each other can rewire the brain. So this shift from possibly unconscious, possibly out of control eating to this new normal that is grounded and present and feels good, that does take time and effort and support. And expert guidance can certainly facilitate and accelerate the process. But remember what I said at the beginning of this video, how this is an ultimately challenging endeavor because of the complexities of our relationship to food, much less to our body and our thoughts and our feelings. Well, I just want to say here honestly that while it's not a quick fix, it is a deep one. You get this, and you get so much more. The rewiring that happens when you get this helps you with everything else in your life. It is empowering. And for that reason, I think of it as one of the most heroic journeys you can take. And because of that, I am that much more excited, and I feel honored to be able to facilitate you on your journey. And this program that I have developed is a foundational one for that process. Also, it's a very special event. While it's a unique opportunity to get to work with me live, it's also the first time that I have offered this kind of support in an online format, which means that it's available to you no matter where you live. And you can get the support in your own kitchen, which, let's face it, that's where a lot of our challenges arise, right? And in addition to live sessions, live Q&A, and support videos, we are also setting up a support community where you can share your experience with others who are on this journey with you. It has been well documented that people who have social support do significantly better than those who don't. So we want to help supply that and also set it up so that it continues after the workshop. you can all stay in touch. And in case that's not enough support, along with all the support I've already mentioned, I'm going to be providing some office hours, which is where I can answer questions or address anything that's come up during the week. And so that is a lot of hands-on support for you. And just to give you an idea of how we roll up our sleeves to start this rewiring process, I like to focus on 3 main questions. What is the wiring now? What is the wiring we want? And how do we unhook the old wiring, which is where the clever strategies especially come into play. I mean, we all know of how anything that's been around for a long time gets stuck and stubborn, so we need to be as clever as we are kind. Because in any habitual behavior, there are optimal moments when it is more likely that you can introduce a change. And identifying where those moments are and having a clever strategy to use that feels good to you can be the key to success. So I just wanted to show you examples of one way in which I break down this process to help clarify what we're working on and how that fits into the big picture. And okay, so if you have ever worked with me or you've seen any of my videos, or maybe you got it from this video, you will get that I am committed to finding ways to make it fun, accessible, interesting, and even playful, so that doing this work to create these new habit patterns and neural pathways is easier and more engaging, and that the process itself feels good. That is so important to me. That's how I want to learn. So I want to teach that way. I want to create the environment I'd want to learn in. And to help facilitate that, we're going to limit the number of people in the program to keep it intimate, to make sure everyone gets individual support, because we're big on support, remember? And so, yeah, there's going to be fewer spaces, but for a good reason. It's because of my commitment to help you experience it, just begin to taste that new normal. So, if you have any unhealthy or unhelpful issues or habit patterns around food or eating that you have been wanting to address, or if you have a friend or loved one you think might benefit, this is a unique opportunity that is not a diet, but rather it's an invitation to get to learn how you are wired now that creates these issues, and then learn how to create new relationships with food, with your body, with your thoughts and emotions, and yeah, rewiring the brain in the process. So, I would like to invite you to join this team that is designed to support your journey to your new normal. I hope you join us. I look forward to working with you.